It's November, and here in the United States, we celebrate Thanksgiving. And if you're anything like me, you like to celebrate Thanksgiving with pumpkin pie, mashed potatoes, and of course, dinosaur. Now, we all know that all modern birds aren't just related to dinosaurs. They aren't just descended from dinosaurs. They are dinosaurs. All birds in the world today are theropod dinosaurs. So when you gobble down some Thanksgiving turkey, you are eating dinosaurs. But if you could hop into your time ship of imagination and bag you a T-Rex for a Thanksgiving feast, what would they taste like? Well, it seems only fair to ask. After all, the T-Rex would have no hesitation in eating you if it had a chance, so it seems like turnabout is fair play. And a T-Rex weighed 8 tons, so there would be plenty of meat to go around from a single animal. But T-Rex presents an interesting culinary challenge since there is nothing like it in the world today. For one thing, you can completely forget it tasting like beef or meat from any mammal. Dinosaurs, like their modern counterparts, the birds, would likely have had a mixture of white meat and dark meat throughout their bodies. White meat comes from fast-twitch muscle fibers, muscles that move quickly but aren't used too often, like a chicken breast, while dark meat comes from slow-twitch muscle fibers that are full of oxygen from regular use, like drumsticks. Very likely, Tyrannosaurus would be much heavier on the dark meat side of things, with its body, legs, and neck being in such constant use. You'd need to gnaw on a T-Rex's arms or tail for some white meat. And by the way, everybody makes fun of the T-Rex's notoriously small arms, but their arms were as long as yours, so it would still supply some really good portions of white meat if you wanted the wings. The problem is that fat, the vessel through which flavor travels, retains the flavoring of the things that the animal consumed in life. Chickens and turkeys are birds that are omnivorous. They eat a lot of grains, greens, bugs, and small critters. Because of this, they would definitely taste different than, say, a duck, which eats different food, mostly greens and seed. So a T-Rex would taste very different from any game bird out there in the world now. Now, birds aren't the only archosaurs left in the world today. Crocodilians are still alive, and they're fairly tasty. They appear on menus all over the world, especially in Florida. Crocodilians eat mostly meat, so you might think that alligator or crocodile would be a good indicator of T-Rex meat. However, in 2007, a study of fossilized muscle proteins from a T-Rex were found to be most similar to those of a chicken, so that the meat would be similar to that of birds. So we would have to assume the T-Rex tastes like a carnivorous bird, like an eagle, or given the fact that it may have scavenged many of its meals, a condor. Not many people have ever eaten eagle, but fortunately the internet is a thing, so if you ever wondered, eagle is a very dark meat similar to pheasant, oily, gamey, but with a texture similar to slightly tougher chicken. It is very high in potassium, and if Tyrannosaurus was anything like that, its meat would probably be pretty nasty. It turns out eating predators isn't as tasty as you might think. The good news is getting rid of that gamey taste is definitely possible. Gaminess is a product of the animal's lifestyle, age, and what it eats. To get rid of that gamey flavor from your T-Rex dinner, the secret is to get as much of the fat off the carcass as possible. Weirdly, despite their bulk, T-Rex probably didn't have as much excess fat as you might expect. That said, there's still probably tens or possibly hundreds of pounds of fat on the animal. You'll also need to keep the meat cool and clean. The longer it sits, the gamier the taste, so process your dinosaur fast. You'll need to skin your Rex, cut off the feet and the head, and pull out the innards. To cook your T-Rex, you'll need an oven the size of a garage. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees and submerge your dinosaur in a swimming pool of 786 gallons of salt and sugar brine. After brining for 7 days, wash the excess off again, and stuff with 30 pounds of sweet onions, 30 pounds of apples, 20 pounds of celery, and 8 pounds of rosemary. Saute and lard to replace the fat you lost during processing until golden brown on all sides. Then bake for 49 days, remembering to baste with 20 pounds of butter every 10 days. Let stand for a minimum of 4 hours and carve with a chainsaw. Eating a T-Rex may not be the most easy thing in the world, but it is at least something to be thankful for. And if you want to dine on dinosaur, you need to keep your eyes and mind open, and always be creative. Thanks for watching.